Sorry. So now Python is a programming language that is, in fact, I can say it's one of the most used programming language in the world presently now. I can say that it's one of the most widely used programming language that is being used all over the world. It is one of the most effective and the best programming language that is being used all over the world. And do you know why? Why Python? It is because it is simple. You know, and the word simple in this sense is relative, because if someone says it is simple, by the time you start learning Python language, you will ask me and say, is this what Dr. Kenny said is simple? But compared to other programming languages, it is simple. Are you getting me? It is powerful and very accessible. So when you say, when everybody talk about Python, and have you ever heard the word Python before? Python programming language somewhere before?
Everyone talks about Python.
Everyone talks. And why is it? Because it is simple. It is simple in the sense that it is easy to interact with. It is also very accessible. You don't have to pay anything before you can use it. You don't have to pay. You don't pay. It is an open source. Open source in the sense that even you as a person, you can develop your own program, your own package, and to work on it. You understand? So that is why. So Python has become the most popular programming language for data science. Data science, even for the use for website design, for a lot of things, game design, a lot of things. So it's being used, and this allows it to know this is also something that is very easy, and it offers a very convenient environment to work with. So it is very straightforward. It's just that it is more simpler than other programming language like the Fortran, the C++, and the rest. And it has its own advantage as well as its own disadvantage. So there are different ways you can run Python programming on your laptop. There are different ways. You understand? But one of the effective ways is to use the Anaconda distribution. Anaconda, you are asking, why are we talking about Python is a snake, a big snake? Now you are coming again with Anaconda. All right. So they just, people design and they give their own software different name. So probably anybody can come tomorrow and say your own is goat or ram. And I'm just joking. So one of the best effective way people use Python is to use the Anaconda environment. So the Anaconda environment then has Python already installed on it. Is a Python distribution. So that is the first thing. So for you to be able to learn Python, you have to install Anaconda on your laptop, either Macbook or Windows. And it's the same, I can say it's the same process. It's the same thing, except that the process for each of them differs. So let me show you how to do that. So let's just go to your browser and type download Anaconda. Press enter. Let's go to download Anaconda. Now, this is download Anaconda. In this case, this is for iOS distribution. This is for iOS distribution. This is for iOS distribution, and then you can also download for Windows and for even Linux, depending on whichever one you are using. So I know majority of us use Windows. So let me just put down Anaconda for Windows. Yes. So let's go there and see we are looking for Windows Anaconda. I think this one is just giving me because okay. Let's go to product Anaconda distribution. Okay. So from this now, this is if you want window, this is for window. If you sorry for Linux, then for window you can click on for window you can click on this. So can you see Anaconda installers? So this is for Windows. This is the Python, the latest Python that is installed is Python 3.9. There are different versions, and I think this is the latest version of Python that is available. 64 bytes, 32 bytes. So if you are using Windows, you have to know which byte is yours. Am I using 64 or 32 bytes? So if you are using 32, 60, if you are using 64 bytes and you download 32 bytes, it won't work. No, it will work because 64 can still accommodate 32. But if you are using 64 and you download 32, it will not work. So you take note of that. Also for Macbook, we have 64 byte graphical installer. We have 64 byte command line installer. We have 64 byte graphical installer, command line installer. So you can download any of them depending on which one you interested. And even for if you are using Linux, for people using Linux, so you can download for Linux as well. Now for Windows, I think let's just maybe I will show you how to do that on Linux first before we can go to Windows. I'm using a Mac. I'm sorry, on Mac. I'm using Mac presently. So let's click on graphical installer. This graphical installer means you don't need any command line to download this, to install it. Why the command line ones means you have to use your terminal to install. So let's use the graphical installer. Let's click on it. So I think we have it. So I think it's installed here now. So I'm trying, okay. So can you see it's installing? This is installing already. So it takes wait for a few minutes. It's our 591 MB. That's like half of a gigabyte. So you wait for it. The same thing is applicable to Windows. If you are using Windows, just click on the window type. Click it. Windows type is purely graphical. So once you click that, the next thing is you click on the exe that you downloaded and you follow the description to the end and you have it installed on your laptop. So let's continue. Let's wait for this to finish. Let's wait for this to finish. Let's wait for this to finish. So we have like few MB to. Okay, I think that's done. Okay, let's click on it. Just click on it. This package will run a program to determine if the software can be installed. Allow. Okay, so once you click allow, this is for graphical installation for MacBook. Continue. Just go down. These are the things that will be installed, the packages. There are a lot of packages. Continue. Continue. It will ask you, do you agree? Yes, I agree. Do you want to say install for me only? Yes. Continue. Install. It will. So this one is the. So if you don't want to be stress yourself with command line, just download the command line one, and it will. Yeah. So you don't know why it's only one access to control. Yeah, continue. Oh, is this? Is that I want access to computer, align control from access to document and that kind of and action within the app. Yeah, continue. Why is this happening? Yes, you can continue. Sorry. I don't know why this is not perform action within the app. Yes. It's done already. I don't know why this is giving me an issue. Okay. So once you do the installation, let's just give this. Then you can come to your terminal. It's already here, or you can just search for it. So this is Anaconda Navigator. So double click on it. It's opening now. This is the Anaconda distribution for Python. Anaconda distribution for Python. Okay. Let's make it bigger. So that is the Anaconda distribution for Python. Can you see that? So that is it. So you have successfully downloaded and installed Anaconda. And for you to do now, once you do that, the next thing is we have what is called environment on Anaconda, and that is we have the base or the root, of which you can also install other environments. This is the environment. There are different things you can learn. Can you see? This is environment. This is learning. If you want to learn about Anaconda, different softwares, we have it is already on the. If you want to read about R, this is another programming language for statistics. If you want to learn about other things, Python tutorial, you can even read this Python tutorial. Can you see? Can you see it's giving us this? If you want to read about Python tutorial, so that's learning. We also have Python community. There are community whereby you can, which I will recommend this Stack Overflow for you. Anytime you are doing Python programming and you encounter a problem, you can engage with people on this community. The people in the community will definitely help you. Once you just copy your error message, excuse me, copy your error message to the online or to this Stack Overflow community. People will tell you, okay, this is what you are facing. This is what you can do. This is what you can do to get out of the problem or the challenges you are facing. So we have the environment where you have the root, where we have the programming stuff, and you have the learning and community. Now, this is where these are the packages. As we install the Anaconda package, there are a lot of Python packages that has been installed that comes automatically as default with this programming, Anaconda. And there are some that they are there, but they have not been installed. So it is you that will now, if you want to work with for example, one important package in Python is pandas. Panda. That Panda is a package. It's always on Anaconda. You can install it, you can uninstall. And there are different ways you can install and uninstall. We are not going to talk about that now. I'm just trying to show you the environment of the Anaconda distribution Anaconda software that we just downloaded. So now, if you come here now, if you click on this, there is also terminal on this. There is terminal. Even if you are using Windows, there is terminal. There is Python terminal, there is IPython terminal, and there is Jupyter Notebook. And this is where I want you to go. This notebook is the most convenient way you can relate with Python using Anaconda. You can do it with this open terminal, Python, and the rest, but this notebook allows you to write your programming language and put explanation. If you look at the terminal we opened that I opened the other time for the terminal we usually open for work on Macbook, you only type your programming command and you press enter, but you cannot give explanation on it. But with the Macbook, you can you can type a command and you can also type something to say this is an explanation. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's open that. So when you click on open with a notebook, it will open this for you. This is what I have on my laptop. If you do the same thing, it will give you what you have on your laptop. This is my desktop, my document, but I have a particular notebook that I already saved that I want to show as introduction to this whole thing. Let me go to desktop, and I have it here, lesson 1, introduction to Python. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Clearly?
Yes, we can see your screen, Dr. Joe.
Okay, now, this is a Python notebook. You understand? If you look at this, I can write any program on this notebook that you are seeing. At the same time, I can write notes to explain everything that I'm doing. Let me give you one example. If you look at this, let me just give example. Let me say John equals to 20, and I press enter. Now, if I say print, I'm just giving this, I'm going to show you print John. I'm writing you see, what did I put here? I say John equals to 20. So anytime I want to know the value of John, I will just say print John. Can you see? And it says John is 20. So let's now assume I said Kemi equals to 40. And I said print Kemi and print John. Look at what you have. Can you see? The first command is Temi. That's why we are having 40 first. The second command is what? Is John. Isn't it? Now, let me now say, let's see X equals to John plus Temi. Print X. Can you see? The first thing is I say John equals to 20, Temi equals to 40. Print Temi, and the first thing it prints Temi means Temi, it says Temi equals to 40. Print John, it says John equals to 20. Now, I now said X is equals to John plus Temi. Now print X, it says 60. Now, you can see I was able to write a command, right? A command, isn't it? And at the same time, I was able to put notes to explain. I've explained this to you. I'm just giving you an example, and I'm showing you how I did this. Now, I want to show you a difference. Now, let me go to a normal terminal. This is a terminal. Now, I said PWD equals to EC. It says, it shows me where I'm working, but I cannot put all this explanation. that I have here on this terminal. So that is why when you are writing a programming language, Python is the best and is the most convenient, because you can be for conveniency, and for another time you can be writing your program and be explaining what you have in that program, and I'm telling you, everything will work out. So now I've just give you that as introduction. So I want us to talk about Python, introduction to Python programming. I said, what is a computer program? And like we know, when they ask you a computer is something that gets an input and gives you an output. It's just in a simple term. So the main element of a computer program are input. Input means get data from your keyboard, a file, or some other device. Like I did the other time, I put data for John, data for Tammy through the computer. It could be from a folder. It could be from a phone. It could be from a picture from somewhere. You understand my point? So data programming language, you input a data as information. And also there is what is called an output. Output is display data on the screen or send data to a file or other device. When you talk to Siri, hello, hi Siri, how are you doing? Your voice is your input to Siri. Are you guys following me?
Yes, Dr.
Okay, I only hear Timmy most of the time. Your voice is your input to Siri, and Siri responds to you. Hi, how you do? Whatever question it responds back. That is the output, and that is how computer works. So in Python programming language, we have different form of input. It could be a mathematical input. In fact, there are programs that we can build that if you show a picture of a dog on Python after you've written your program, it will tell you this dog is German Shepherd, this dog is this. Or if you put a picture of a diagnosis after you've written your programming, it will say, okay, this one is breast cancer, stage 1, breast cancer, stage 2. So your input could be anything that you type on your keyboard, or from file, or from your file, or from any other device. While your output is going to be your displayed entity, like numbers or figures. If you look at the example I use here, my input here is John equals to 20. Then when I said S is John plus Temi is his 60. So what I only did is to give what John is, what Temi is. It is now the computer and I said, okay, add it together. It is the computer that did the processing and say, okay, I've been given a command to add John and Temi. Then what is John? What is Temi? John is 20, Temi is 40. Okay, they asked me to add it together, mathematical method. The computer add it together and says, okay, I'm giving you back John plus Temi is equals to 60 as your output. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there are also conditional execution that look for certain conditions. I can say if S equals to 1, press 2. I can say, okay, if X equals to 2, we are still going to get to that point. I'm just giving you an example. If S equals to 2, open the door, just like you have in security doors. The security doors you are seeing is programming language. It's a conditional statement. Even your phone, when you set your phone password to 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, what you are saying to that phone is anytime the input entered on you equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, unlock the screen. But if you put 1, 4, 3, 2, the screen will never unlock. You get? So there are some, they call them conditional execution. It checks for certain conditions before it can be, the program can execute whatever condition. So if I say my phone screen is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what it means is the moment I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my my laptop should, my phone should unlock. So what my phone is waiting for is the only condition I can unlock is when the number enter is 1, 2, 3, 4. The moment it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm not going to unlock. That is a conditional execution. So another one is, they also have repetitive. Repetitive means it will perform a condition, it will go back again and see is that condition still existing, and repeat it. It will repeat, it says perform same action repeatedly, usually with same variations. And that is how, for example, let me give an example of that. There is a way you can write on a Python language that, okay, now I will use your phone as an example because that's what you guys use. If you enter your phone password more than a certain time, it will tell you to wait for it. Maybe you enter it wrongly for like 5 times. I have experienced that with my phone. When you enter it wrongly like 5 times, it will tell you you cannot do anything until you wait for some minutes. Are you getting it? What that is done is that laptop has been programmed that, okay, when someone entered this password wrongly for the first time, give him permission to write it again. So when you enter it for the first time, it will go to the program and say, okay, you've entered me a wrong password for the first time. Okay, I can still permit you, because the program written to it says the person can repeat that like 3 or 4 times. When you enter it again the second time, you enter the wrong one, it will go back and look at the condition. Okay, this is the second time, you are still permitted to go one more time. If you enter it the third time, and the condition given to the program is after the person entered the wrong password for 3rd time, just cut that person from entering. The moment you enter the wrong the 3rd time, and it goes and check the condition that only says just 3 times. The 4th time, it will tell you, no, the screen is locked, you cannot do anything. I believe as I'm explaining, you can relate with one thing or the other that you've worked with in that regard, right?
Yes, sir.
Actually, even on those things you do on the internet, when you enter your password time, it will tell you no, because that is the Python programming condition given to it, to the computer. I know we are going to do example of things like that. We are going to write even a short game whereby we ask you to, okay, somebody can just put a number and somebody will not be looking and say, okay, predict. By the time you predict, to tell you you've used the wrong one, try again later. So that's how it is. So that's how they use Python programming for this website, machine learning, artificial intelligence, all the gadgets you are seeing, majority of them use Python. But let me say this, there are different levels of this Python programming we are talking about. Some people stay at the elementary, the moderate, and the advanced. So it depends on your commitment and your willingness to learn more. That's how it is. Now, the IPython notebook, or it is called a Jupyter notebook, either IPython notebook or Jupyter notebook, they use them interchangeably. This session covers Python like I've explained. It introduces elements that will help you get familiar with Python as an interactive computational environment for exploring data and data modeling. You understand? That's what the Python is interactive. You relate with it, it gets back to you. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you say to it is what it will give you the corresponding response. So, and this material that I've just put together is just to show you the environment that runs within your web server called an IPython notebook or Jupyter. So it allows presentation of text and graphics to be combined with Python code. There are Python code on this Jupyter that once you put your information, they will go to the execution, it will look at it and it will give you a feedback. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Python is an interpreted programming language also referred to as a high-level language. Python programming language that I'm talking about is just like the normal language we speak, like English language, Arabic, Swahili, or anything. The only thing is, it has its own way of saying welcome, go, come. So for you to be able to interact with Python and get a corresponding response, you must be able to understand its language. Are you getting me? That's why they call it a programming language. If you do not understand my language, if I tell you come, maybe that's when you may go in because you don't understand me. If you put something to Python and Python does not understand, it will give you an error message. I don't understand what you are saying, because that is not the way it's being put to respond. So you understand the Python language so that anytime you speak to Python by typing or anything, the Python will be able to give you a good response. But if you not understand the language, it will give you an error message. So if you look at what I have here, I say Python is an interpreted programming language, also referred to as a high-level language or as a scripting language. What this means is that when you write some command or statement that are meaningful in the Python language, look at that. When you write that are meaningful in the Python language, the Python interpreter read the command, figure out what the intended computation is, and then execute it. Look at this. When we put this together, and I said print all this, the Python interpreter that has been installed on the Anaconda distribution takes those information and put them together. Okay, this is what you want me to do, and gives me answer. Now, let's now speak a language that Python do not understand. Let me come here and probably remove this. Let's remove plus and print this. Can you see? Hello? Are you guys looking at the screen?
Yes, sir.
I put x equals to John space Temi. Python doesn't understand. You see, it says syntax error. Like there is an error in the way you speak your grammar. I do not understand what you are saying. What is saying? Okay, you just put John and Temi. What do you want me to do between John and Temi? Do you want me to subtract? Do you want me to multiply? Do you want me to add? So if I put minus and press enter, it gives me answer because now I can understand what you are saying. It's just like you speaking Spanish to someone, or someone is speaking Spanish to you and you don't understand. If you just be looking like, I can't understand. So if you don't put those things in the way Python understand, it will tell you there is an error. Like the example I gave to you, like I showed to you the other time, look at it, it says syntax invalid. And one good thing about this thing is this, it will tell you exactly where the error is. If you look at it, it specifically indicates the error is where you have x equals to John space Temi. There is an error here. That means this first one, no error. This one, no error. This one, no error. This one, no error. But there is error with this. And it cannot just perform the rest and leave this. No. That's why it says, the moment you are able to fix this and press enter, Python understand what you are saying. And it goes. So you can even put, you can use asterisk for multiplication. That's 20 times 40 is 800. So what I'm saying there is the Python, I want you to have it at the back of your mind. Python programming language is a new language. Let's be sincere. That you want to learn. When you learn it, you can now send the Python to do anything for you. If you understand someone's language, you can communicate to the person and say, okay, can you please do this, do that, don't do this, do that, and the person will comply. But if you do not understand the person's language, there is no way the person will understand what you are saying. Are you guys with me? So have it at the back of your mind, you are trying to learn a new language, different from the language you know. You are about to learn a computer language called Python language. There are other programming language like R. If you want to work with R, you learn R languages. If you want to learn C++ or C, Java is also a language. So each language, each of them has their peculiarity and few similarity in them. But the basic thing is, have it at the back of your mind, I keep repeating this, that what you have to do is you want to learn a new language, and you are willing to learn a language that your computer, your Python, will understand and will be able to execute whatever you want to execute for you. So there is a way you can show figures to Python, and it will give you the meaning of that figure based on what you've garbaged into it. So this differs from low-level language. Python differs from other low-level language like C+ or C++, in which you generally have to compile code before you can run. Have you guys worked with C or C++ or Fortran before? Those ones, you have to put all your program together before you can run them. But Python, you can begin to run them one after the other. One after the other, one after the other. And if you find error, they have to be diagnosed, and then the code will be compiled before you can run it. But the case is not with Python. Python will tell you as you are doing that this is an error here, you can do it, unlike all those ones that you have to start from beginning. Interpreted language keep the compile step and just execute code directly. And if there are errors, they are seen at runtime. Can you see? Once there is it understands the language, it will go and give you the outcome. But if there is a problem, it will tell you there is a problem. Are you guys following me? So I put some link. I will share this. I will share this with you. All these document materials with you, so that you can probably run it yourself. Are you with me? And you can read more about some helpful tips to use Jupyter Notebook. Can be found on this link. So it depends on how committed, I used to say this, to a programming language that you are willing to go, that will determine how vast in it you will be. Yes, I'm taking you this, but I'll be sincere with you, it goes beyond what I'm just telling you, what I'm just showing. It requires your own committed and constant practice. Like I used to say, these things are very volatile. You learn and you read more about them. So now let's look at the Python environment. There are several ways to work with Python code. Starting Python interactive session from the command line by typing Python at the command. You can just go to your command line and type Python on your laptop, it will work. You can run the Python script like this on the command line, and you can use the Anaconda, the one we just used now, to work on your to work. Now let me now show you some of the things. This is if you want to access a file on your laptop, you can come to this place, file. So what I'm doing is just an introduction to Anaconda and Python is what I'm doing. So I'm going to put those, like I used to do, I will put those videos in different segments for you to understand. This is anytime maybe you want to make a copy, you want to save normal file as window, you want to rename a document, you want to download, if you want to download it as Macbook, notebook, PDF, as Python script, PDF, anything, that's what this place means. Do you want to edit? You want to cut out a cell? This is what is called a cell in Python. Let me give you, for example, you want to now, let me say this, please, I want to take note of this. In Python, you can either have a code or a markdown. These are the major ones. A code or a markdown. Do you get what I just said? A code or a markdown. A markdown are not executable codes. They are just words that you type to explain things, like the one you have, like you see here. This thing is, if you press enter on this, it's not a code, it's just a statement. So when you want to write a Macbook to explain something, like you can see the way this is being explained, all you need to do is to put, when you, okay, let me show you one example. let's assume I want to make, if you want to have is a new space to type either code or Macbook, just click on plus. Can you see plus? What I have here shows I want to write a code. But if you want to write a statement, let's say I want to write Temi is on this program. Is on this program. And we have to change this to markdown. And I will put a hash. No, I may not even put hash. If I want it to be bold, that's when you put hash. But if you don't want it to be bold, Temi is online. Press enter. Can you see? This is not a code. It's just a statement. Maybe when you are writing your code, you want to put some explanation that when you want to work with this code again in a couple of years to come, you can remember how you arrive at certain things. If you want to make it bold, all you need to do is just put this and press enter. So this is a Mac. This is a MacBook. This is a markdown. Markdown is just for you to write about something. I think I even explained it there. And if I want to delete this now, just come to edit. I already click on it, come to delete cell, and the cell is gone. Can you see that? Now, that's fine. So now, starting on an IPython notebook in command prompt, you can start it on command prompt if you want. But what I do mostly is once I already have Anaconda installed, I just use Anaconda, just type my Anaconda on my search. It gives it to me, and I'm able to start doing whatever work I want to do. So guys, can we just have short break, please? Hello.
Yes, Dr. Dewu, yes.
Yeah, can we have just a short break?
No problem, sir.
So I put in this description, in how you can start it on both Windows and how you can start the Anaconda both on Windows and on MacBook. But for most of the time, all you just need to do, just go on to your either on your MacBook, just go to your Find Launchpad and type Anaconda. If on Windows, just go to your Windows space, type Anaconda. It will give it to you. Then you can click it, and to show to you. So the programming language when you are learning a program is usually to make the computer print hello. So like, let me just show you. So now let's look at this now. So we talk about it. Let's just do a few things. Now, if you want to say, hello. Okay, sorry, I mistakenly changed this to Mac. It's a code. Okay, so you can just say print hello world. Can you see that? It prints, let me just say, so now I'm done with this. I want to get a new cell. News. Let's say, yeah, let me say print now. I want you to take note of something. Anytime we are using good evening, press enter. Now, anytime you are using word, good morning, good hello, how are you doing? It has to be in parentheses, in comma, rather, inverted comma. And one thing about it is, if you are using a single one, the other end too must be single. If you are using double one, the other end too must be double. You can't use single here and use double. It's not going to work. Or you can't write it without putting those things. Let's try this. Can you see? Syntax error. This is a word. It is not. It is a word, so you have to put it in. They call it string element in inverted comma. Now it is going to work now. So like the example I give to you here, let me just do it one after the other. So when you have John, so in this place, that is what is called assignment of numbers or assignment of values. To every character you have to assign a value. You assign a value. If you are working, I said, let's say we are talking, let's assume, let's assume we are working on age of students in a class. Are you getting it now? So let's assume we have 5. So you can see what I have here. I use assume here before I put. What this means is it is just a written word. It's not part of the command. It is just a written word and not part of the command. So if I press enter, Python already knows this is not a command. So it's not going to see this as a problem. So now, let's say we have different students in the class. Let's say Steve. Steve equals to, let's say Steve is 30. Let's say Max is 21. Can you see that now? So we already assigned their age to each person, right? So you can say, okay, print. I'm coming. So you can ask this to print the age of each of them, instead of asking, okay, what is the age of Temi, for example. All you just need to do, just put the name of Temi, print Temi. It will tell you Temi is 40. You know it's 40. Or you say print John. John is 20. Now, let's do something. Let's do this. Print Steve. Now, who can tell me the problem here? What is the error message? Hello?
It says stuff is not defined.
Can you tell me where the problem is? Can anybody tell me where the problem is? I purposely did that. So that I want you to learn something.
Is it because it's lowercase on the S?
Thank you very much. If you look at the Steve that we defined here, we defined Steve capital letter S, not small letter, as 30. When I want to print, I say print Steve small letter. This is very case sensitive. So it sees this small letter Steve is different from capital letter Steve. And that is why it's saying Steve small letter is not defined. It's not defined. Sorry, it's not defined. So we've defined each name to their respective age. Now you are coming with, we type small letter S. It says this is not defined at all because it's not the same. So if you change this to capital letter S, it will definitely give us what you want. So I purposely put that to let you know that this is case sensitive. It's case sensitive. And you have to take note of that. It is case sensitive. And apart from this, you can do some other mathematical work on it. Let me put, so you can, okay, now let's put the average of the class. You can define a new name, average, let's say AVG underscore class equals to, let's now click John plus Tammy. You can now, if you don't want, once you get, if I put capital letter S and small letter T and I press tab, it will complete Steve for me. Then there are different things that start with ST. So that's why it gives me that, okay, I have many things that start with ST. Which one do you want? I want the first one plus MA max. Now, if I press enter, if I just press enter now, do you know what happens here? If I want to know the answer to this, so let me say AV underscore class. Sorry, print. So anytime you want to know the value of a variable that you already defined, just put print. Do you know why this is not working? When I was defining, I put AVD. I wanted to put G, and when I was printing, I put AVG. So let me go and correct this G, and you press enter. Then if I put this, can you see now? So I define average underscore class equals to John age, John plus Timmy plus Steve plus Max. Instead of me saying 20 plus 40 plus 30, I already defined their respective age. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Then once I do that, then I can say, okay, print the print. Sorry, this should be not average. It should be total, not average. Sorry, total. The total age. So let's go back and press enter for this. Can you see? So this is the total age of the student in the class, isn't it? Then there are some mathematical functions, and we are going to go into that detail. I'm just trying to show you different ways that this Python of a thing works. There are different ways it works. So let's look at that. Let's do other mathematical functions again. You can decide to, so if you want to multiply, your multiply will be, you can say Timmy asterisk. Asterisk is for multiplication. John. And can you see? It says what? 800. That's Timmy is 20, is 40, John is 20. 20 times 40, 800. Do you take, are you getting that? At the same time, you can decide to say, okay, let me subtract. You can say Timmy minus John. This is just very of what you are doing. I'm just showing this as just like introduction to Python and Anaconda environment. This is what you are just doing now. That's 20. That's 40 minus 20 equals to 20. So if you are using the Anaconda Navigator application, you don't need to open a command terminal line. Either on Windows, like I said, on Windows or on Macbook. You don't need to open a terminal. Just select the Jupyter Notebook option in the Anaconda homepage. You will land into the Anaconda Notebook right away. Make sure to select the desired environment. There are different environments you can choose, and I will show you how you can install your own environment, but not now. We see how we are still at the peripheral. We are still at the basic of this thing. So I will advise you. There are these other, just click on them. Just click on them to read more about these things. You can just click on those things. When you open it, just click on them. It will take you to the page where you can read more about them. So this is, I think I didn't even know. This is the home page for you to download Anaconda. Starting to Jupyter, this is it. Can you see? You can follow this. So these are there are a lot of descriptions here that explains in detail. Because like I said earlier, you need your own personal time to do this. And I try to make it a bit simpler by providing this to you guys. It takes time, if you understand that. And this one, all these are available on the internet, but I was able to, I just add the URL address so that you can just go there and make use of it. So you can just go through this if you have time to familiarize yourself with the environment. I'm telling you, it's an interesting thing to learn. Even though at some point it could be confusing, but if you are committed, your willingness to learn is very, very important in this, to be sincere. So any comments? Any questions before we call it? I think we spent 1 hour 40. Yeah. So any comments? So I'm going to put the assignment I gave to you last time. I will put it. I'm so sorry. I was just explaining to Timmy. It's been a very busy for the last going to 2 months now. Has been busy for me. But I'm going to find time and send that to you guys over the weekend so that you can do that. And by the time we meet on next week, we will start our Python programming properly, and I will give you your work, your drug design work. And this Python program is also used in drug design. Majority of softwares for drug design are written in Python language. Even the so-called Chimera, all the software that I've shown to you, they were written in Python language. I'm telling you, they were all written in Python language. So that's the way it is. Any questions? Anything that is not clear? You want us to take before we call it a day?
No
No,
questions
sir.
from my side, Dr. Do.
Okay. So starting from next week, let's see. We are likely to be spending probably 2 hours or maximum 2.5 hours. We are likely, because I want us to take this. I think this thing stopped on November or so, and July is already going. So I want us to, at least for you guys to understand the basic, so that when they ask you about Python programming language, you won't say no idea. So Karenza, please take time to try what I ask you to do. If you are facing any challenges, get back to me as soon as possible so that you can fix that, so that by the time you have the assignments you're grouping next week, you can be able to do your docking on your own. Any other thing?
Nothing, Dr. Do.
Okay. I want to believe Timmy said nothing. Timmy already said nothing. So